This is the plaintiff, Donna Pellis. She says she put a deposit down on a condo, and when she moved in, her lungs began to hurt. The place also smelled musty, so she brought an air quality specialist who determined there was mold in the carpeting and air conditioning units. She has asthma. She can't be subjected to the dangers of mold, and the defendant refuses to return her money. So she's suing for $1,700 for the rent she paid and the mold test. This is the defendant, Steve Rosenstein. He says he never had any mold problems in the condo, and when he was alerted by the plaintiff, he brought in his own specialist who found nothing. He thinks he's completely within his rights to hold on to the plaintiff's money, has no idea what the real reason is for her vacating, and is pretty confident the judge is going to agree. He's accused of renting an oldie moldy place.
Please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff put a deposit down in the condo and later found out there was mold inside, so she tried to cancel. But the defendant says she's making up the mold. It's the case of you break the mold.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Donna Pellis, you are suing Steve Rosenstein for $1,700 for the return of a security deposit that he refused to return to you when, according to you, you found mold in the apartment, plus the cost of the mold test. Talk to me. What happened?
He held a month's rent, not security. He gave me the security back.
A month's rent. Because
yes.
Okay, so you find the apartment. It's a condo, and
yes.
it's where?
In Manalapan, New Jersey.
Okay, and you like it. You pay a month's rent and a month and a half security
yes,
deposit.
Correct.
And you do that in June. June what?
Probably 20th, maybe, okay. Approximately.
According to you, when you looked at the place, you smelled a musty smell.
Yes.
Okay. You have allergies or something?
I have asthma.
You have asthma. So why did you rent a place that had a musty smell?
I said to the defendant, I smell a musty smell. You know, I don't know if I'm comfortable with this. And he said, you know, it's been closed up for a long time. I'm going to open the windows, turn the air conditioners on. You know, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay.
So
when do you get in there?
I never actually moved in.
Okay. When do you set foot in there?
He gave me the keys about a week before I was supposed to move in.
Okay. And?
Yeah. So I was supposed to take occupancy on July 4th weekend, and I was letting the cable guy in. And he had the carpets cleaned, which made the mold smell worse.
All right, so go on.
So, you know, I called him. The cable guy came, and my lungs were starting to hurt, literally. And the cable guy walked in and said, oh, my gosh, you know, what's this smell? Do
you have a statement from the cable guy?
I'm sorry, I don't.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
You could video him or something.
Yes, you're right.
All right, go on.
I didn't think of that. And he said, this definitely mold. And I said, yeah, my lungs are starting to bother me. So
this is on what date?
Approximately maybe the 23rd.
Okay, so what happens? You call him and say what?
Yes, I said, I think there's a mold problem in the condo. And he said, I'm working right now. I'm going to come by tomorrow and check it out.
And then what happened?
He checked it out and said there was no problem.
He says, I don't smell it?
Yes.
Okay, so then what do you do?
So I said, I have a problem with mold. You know, I have asthma. I can't, you know, live. It's bothering me. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, I'll give you your security back, but, you know, I'm going to keep a month's rent. And if you want, I'll give you a credit towards replacing the carpet of $1,000. And, you know, as long as I get the approval on the color of the carpet, you know, you can change the carpet. But the mold was not only under the carpet, it was also in the air conditioning unit.
What day is he saying that to you?
Probably approximately the 25th or so.
Okay, so that's before you actually hire the mold people.
Yes.
So you hire people to come and test it on the 27th.
Yes.
And when you hire them to come and test it, what is it they say?
He found evidence of mold. He lifted up the carpet. The tackless that holds the carpet in place, the nails were rusted, which is an indication of moisture. And there was mold where the wall meets the slab.
Right.
He took apart, well, he didn't take apart, he took the front of the air conditioning units off and checked both of them, and he found mold and dust, a lot of dust inside.
Oh, those are little AC units in the window?
Yes.
How much do those cost?
I would guess around $200.
Right, like it's not going to be. So if there's mold in the carpet and there's mold in the AC, why isn't the solution to buy 2 new ACs and rip out the carpet? Why is the solution to break the lease?
that wasn't an option. You know, he said, I'll give you...
Okay, before you give him this, he says, because you think it's only the carpet, he addresses it and says, okay, I'll give you $1,000. We'll, you know, a credit, and so you can, we'll replace the carpet up to $1,000, which should cover it, right? How big is a condo?
It's, I don't know how
So
many
this should cover it.
Yeah.
It's not like that's not going to cover it. What'd you do for the month of July?
I did not occupy the condo.
Where were you on the month of July?
I owned a house at the time, so I was living in the house.
Okay, what were you planning on doing with the house?
It was sold.
Okay,
So
did your
it was-
closing get delayed?
No, it did not.
So how did you stay in your house if it was sold?
Well, my closing was August 25th.
Oh, it was always going to
So
be
I had-
August 25th.
Yeah.
So you had some time to play.
Yeah, I had some overlap, so I could move in, and I didn't have to worry and
Okay,
hurry.
so when did you move out of your house that you
The
sold?
24th of August.
Okay. Now, did you re-rent the place out to anybody for July?
No.
So you're out the month of July. Did you
Correct.
re-rent it to somebody for August?
Yes.
Did you rip out the carpet in the meantime?
No.
So the person who moved in August isn't having a problem?
Not at all.
So if the plaintiff puts the deposit down, but there is mold inside, can the plaintiff get the money back?
Yes,
Why?
because it's a waste of money.
Because what?
It's a waste of money.
Well, a lot of things are a waste of money, but are they entitled to get the money back?
Not always.
What about this time? What about with mold?
They signed a contract.
That's true, but what about mold? I mean, mold's dangerous, right?
Did they know about the mold?
No, that's the point. Of course they didn't know about the mold.
Well, yeah, then they shouldn't be responsible for it. They should get their money back.
Got the money back.
Yeah.
Because mold is,
Bad. It's like nasty.
mold is nasty. Going inside the courtroom.
According to you, you had somebody else, your own consultants, go out there. May I see their report? Because I don't have it.
I don't have a report.
Why
It
would
was
you have
given-
consultants go out there and not have a
It
report?
was given to me verbally, and
Why wouldn't you call them and say, I'm going to be on the people's court. I need a report.
I
don't
did.
make you that nervous?
well, no, I did, and he said that they'd have, because of the time lapse, he would have to come out and they would have to charge me for printing up a report.
Oh my
and he
gosh.
said, and he also said that the evidence was right in the report that Donna supplied.
Except for the report that Donna supplied does say that there's some mold.
Some mold, but according to my specialist, his interpretation is that it's very low readings. In fact, if you see, some of the comments are very few, and they're at the lower end
Miscellaneous
of the
spores
scale.
present in the carpet pad, very few. Mold growth, none. Mold growth in vicinity, question mark. That's the impression. Now for the AC blower. Miscellaneous spores present, very few. You know, you don't throw out houses because they have mold. You eradicate the mold. We don't live in a hermetically sealed plastic bag in the desert. There's moisture. So I don't blame you for making the decision that you made. You might, I mean, if I walk into a hotel room and there's the slightest buzz of the building next door's air, I move because I know I just can't take it. So it's not that I blame you for making the decision that you made. You probably made the right decision. You want to risk it. There's plenty of other places. You still have a month anywhere somewhere in your own home. But why does it cost him when you are telling him all of this 3 days before July? In other words, if you're so sensitive, why don't you have it tested beforehand? And especially when the result is something that's manageable.
I have a doctor's note.
I'm sure it's excessive for you. I don't question that. I don't question that. But this is so easily remedied. All you got to do is rip out the carpet and wipe down the AC.
With the house that I sold, I made sure that it was a healthy
Do you have
house.
any, okay, according to you, does she tell you, I really do want to move in, but I need you to remediate this stuff?
Not at all.
Right. She just told you, I don't want it, I can't move in there. And that's
Correct.
what you've always said
On the
you said.
29th of June, which left me no ability to rent it for July 1st.
Yeah, this is close, but it's, I'm ruling in his favor. I really feel that this is not such a material breach that can't be remedied, that you have the right to say you are breaching this entire year's worth of a contract and I'm bailing. And as I say, you can say it, but it's going to cost you and not him. I think he's entitled to keep the rent for the month of July. Having said that, let me also say that I probably would have done the same thing you did. You know, that's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
While the plaintiff is unable to prevail in this case, so the defendant keeps the rent. Mrs. Pellich, the judge certainly gave you ample consideration, but you understand her decision?
I do. I just really don't think it's fair because he really didn't, he wasn't aggressive in trying to fix it. But
Well, You weren't aggressive enough either to try and get him, to force him, or ask him to, because you didn't ask him to remediate it.
Okay.
So that's the problem, okay? Sorry about that. You learned a lesson the hard way.
Okay.
Okay? You must sign a few documents on your way out. Mr. Rosenstein, anyway, you got the apartment rented?
Yes.
And they're having no problem? The new
Not at all.
tenants?
Not at all.
Okay.
And I've had family live in the apartment for 15 years, and
Okay.
nobody's ever had a problem.
All right, sir. Well, congratulations.
All right,
Good
thank
luck.
you.
Okay? Harvey, that's an interesting case when it comes to renting an apartment, right?
Doug, it's not that clear, actually, because what has to happen is first you have to give the landlord a chance to remedy the situation. So if there is mold, first you have to at least go to the landlord and say, fix it, remediate it. And then you have to give the landlord a reasonable time, and that's going to vary from case to case. But at that point, if the landlord doesn't do it, and the problem is material, if it's severe, if it impairs health and safety, then you cancel and get your dough back.